All right, welcome to Cosmic Channels. Calls from the desert. Please call 1-833-703-0424. All right.
Woo!
Oh, awesome.
God damn it.
You had a couple.
They're going to be like, we can't use this.
Yeah, that's the
What do you
plan.
Hey, it's not like this is live anyways. They can blur it.
I'll give him something to blur.
Yeah.
Woo!
It's hot.
Welcome to the grand finale of Theorists in the Desert. I'm Braden.
I'm Zell.
I'm Dan.
And I'm Andrew.
So what was supposed to happen right now is we were supposed to have a live panel with the people who paid to go to Contact in the Desert virtually. But if you've been following Contact in the Desert for the last couple of days, right now it's basically the Fire Fest of virtual conventions. They're having a ton of technical difficulties. So we're unable to do this live for them, but we can do it live for all our fans. So we're taking Q&As on the recent UFO disclosure, your thoughts and theories on all the guests we've had on, and taking your calls, 1-833-703-0424. You tell us a UFO story, your thoughts on the recent disclosure. We're taking all the calls.
Ooh.
Anyways, boys, a hot Saturday here on the West Coast. How's everyone doing?
God damn, is it hot. I mean, I can't complain. I have a dedicated air conditioner for the studio, so.
Must be nice.
Yeah, I can't complain about it. It's quite amazing, actually. I got a nice 18 degrees in the studio. It's 38 degrees outside.
It's awful.
No thanks.
38 degrees in the studio here where I'm at. It's insane. The big UFO disclosure came out yesterday, Friday,
Yeah.
the 25th.
Yeah.
Yep.
Woo! Did we call it? Not a lot there.
Well,
No, it's a
What is it?
huge report. A huge
9 pages?
9-page report. Of which I think only 8 of those are actual like information, and like 2 of them are there's appendix. There's appendices. Yeah, 2 pages of appendices and like 1 title page. I don't know if it's actually.
I mean, but realistically, they gave both sides exactly what they wanted, right? They gave the UFO believers, we can't explain this, and then they gave everybody else, but we don't have proof of what it is. So both sides can be like, well, fuck, to win. Everybody's happy.
Listen, the fact that out of 144 cases, they could only use swamp gas and Venus and Gatorade as an excuse for one of them, and they were like, the other ones, we don't know. Like, that's pretty good.
not bad.
Exactly, but the skeptics can be like, well, but you don't have any proof that it could have been something else, could have been terrestrial, could have been another country. You don't fucking know.
Yeah, it's very true. But like I said, it was exactly what we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks. So I think our expectations were low, and they hit, right where we expected it to hit. So, just
I mean,
reminding
there's some silver lining to it. I mean, they pretty much put forward at the end of the report that they're formalizing they're trying to standardize their actual sighting documentations, like how to take down these sightings and things like this. And they make the suggestion that there is a dedicated task force be formed to investigate these UAPs, and also to like allocate the necessary amount of resources that would require. So that's kind of the thing, that they're starting to take it seriously. They're like, well, in the last like 2 years, we've seen the results of like how we, 2 years ago, when the first kind of things in 2018 and 2017, when those videos leaked, you have this whole kind of thing where it's like the U.S. Navy and those organizations started being like, okay, we need a standard way to report these sightings and these things. And then so they started doing that, and that's why they started, like, they've only people are like, well, why'd they only use those couple of years? That's why, is because they had started to standardize these things. They started to kind of put together like a standard protocol of how to report these and how to analyze these. So they're using that procedure between those years. Like before then, there was no formalized thing. So it's just like reports are all over the place, and the amount of data that they can use was very slim. So they chose to just use those couple years that they had identified. So
The one cool thing about it though is, if you're watching a live stream right now, 18 incidents involve advanced aerial technology.
Yes, where they didn't know and couldn't explain. It looked like it was some sort of advanced propulsion system. But again, they don't know.
A handful of UAP appeared to demonstrate advanced technology in 18 incidents in 21 reports. So
didn't the one that they could explain, didn't they say it was a deflated balloon?
Yeah, they said one of them. Yeah, the one that they could definitely, it was a deflated balloon.
Fucking gender reveal party went wrong. They lost the balloon.
Yeah. That's perfect. We got to quickly give a shout out to Quispy, the cat. His owner sent in $4.99 from Quispy, so Quispy could get a shout out on the show.
Well, Quispy.
Yeah, we love kitties.
Quispy.
We are pro kitty pod.
Yeah, that's the feline kitty of the theorite of the day is
feline of the week.
Feline of the week. I didn't even know people could donate in the chat.
I didn't know that either. That was surprising.
I think I was supposed to turn that off, but
whatever. Contact in the Desert's going to be like, send that to us.
No.
Hey, and remember, if you want to give us a call and you listen to our interview series with Theorists in the Desert, and you want to talk or touch on what speakers you like, why you like them, give us a call, 1-833-703-0424. We're taking all calls right now. So if you want to shoot the shit a little bit, we'll even go around the horn, pretend like you're hosting the show. I don't care.
Yeah.
As for Theorists in the Desert, I would classify it as we weren't really sure when we were like, yeah, sure. We're like, let's do as many as we can. I would say absolute success.
The interviews are awesome.
Yeah, loved just about every minute of it. And I definitely thought we were going to dislike more than we liked. And it was just about liked everything we did. So
I
think my favorite for me was I love Freddie Silva. That's tough.
So much.
Yeah, right? I love me some Freddie.
As far as conversation went, I thought Richard Dolan was our best conversation.
Yeah, Richard Dolan.
Freddie,
surprising.
You know what you're getting with Freddie. It's an amazing talker, fun to listen to. We got a little bit of a rapport with him. But Richard Dolan, he took that interview last minute, and it was awesome. That guy's done so much reading and research into the topic of UFOs that it's just fun to listen to him.
Well, he's a formally trained historian.
Yeah, he's fucking awesome.
So he's got a head for names and dates and stuff like that. So it's always really fun to listen to somebody who kind of for somebody like me, I like it when people ramble off names and dates and stuff, which are pretty neat. And he knew his stuff, and he was fun to talk to. So, I mean, pretty open-minded guy. We're just throwing around, fun guy to talk to, chat with. Yeah.
I think the best part of these is the ability to get, I don't know if it's us, but just the ability to get these dudes out of their shells. Because it feels like they all kind of just loosen up and have a little bit of fun with us.
Yeah. I noticed that first with Avi Loeb.
Yeah.
When he came on and he's wearing a suit, and then we started joking with him, and he immediately, I could feel he's like, all right, I get what this is.
I know who these guys
problem.
are. Yeah.
Yeah, these guys are dummies.
Yeah.
I can bring out the C-list material here, no problem. But no, it was good. It was fun because the weird thing for me is listening to, having conversations with all these guys. Sometimes once a week or twice a week we're having discussions with these people. The one thing that I found interesting is that I have my own Zell has the Zell grand scheme of everything, or whatever you call it. the theory of
The
everything.
theory of everything.
It kind of gets evolves and it kind of grows. But like, I have mine. I'm sure everyone has their own version in their head of what they think's happening. But then, listening to these people talk, I would make connections from like something Freddie said, to something Avi Loeb said, to something Mike Masters said, to something Richard Dolan said. I'd start making these connections in my grand theory of everything of being like, okay, well, that fits with something Mike Masters said. And like, it was fun that way, getting all these things. Like the two that stick out to my mind are when Mike Masters are like, getting into the conversation of that, like all these aliens are just versions of us evolved from the future coming back. And, like these people that are getting abducted and they say they have these lifelong abductions, potentially that's one group of aliens just coming back within a 15, 20-minute time span for them to just check in on these people. And then the other one was when Richard Dolan said, maybe we're, knowledge is an exponential growth. And then it caps, like once you kind of get to this peak, you know it all. And then it's just like basically applying it better and better and better. And I was like, I never thought of those two things before. So like those were my favorite parts of our interviews that we had.
Yep, I agree. Just like you hear everyone's theories and they're like, oh, these all kind of they all relate to each other in some way. There's no like central overarching theory they all subscribe to, but there's always a little something from each one. Braden just disappeared behind his. He went into space.
The ghost took him. The ghost
fucking took him back. Oh shit! There he is. Look at that belly button.
Good. You guys got to pay extra for that shit.
Yeah.
Huh?
Got some naval action there. Speaking of that, we got fucking Sean Smith dropping some euros, buddy.
Oh, some pounds. Fuck,
that's got to be.
Whoa,
It's
easy.
$700
here, isn't it? It's a whole lot of Monopoly money we're gonna get out of that.
Sean Smith that's like 82 Canadian dollars he just donated there.
Yeah, appreciate it, brother.
Who else? Like, guys, in the chat, any questions you want about UFOs, our thoughts, our takes, just shoot us a question in the comments, and we'll answer them here. Like I said, we're doing kind of a loose Q&A. We were supposed to do something with a call-in show for the Contact in the Desert, and it didn't quite pan out, but they still want us to do something. So feel free to give us a call, 703-1833-703-0424. We're taking all calls.
I will
Open
answer
lines,
any
except
call.
dreams. You leave your dreams in your sleep.
Keep that shit to yourself.
Yeah.
We'll call it.
Keep that shit to your sleep.
We will call the dream police. We'll get them in here. Make a special appearance.
It's not even us that don't want them. Contact in the Desert told us they like
no
listen,
dreams.
You're gonna have people call on, but if one motherfucker talks about their dream, you guys
are cut.
are done. We're contractually obligated with Contact in the Desert to not listen to anyone's dreams. It's crazy, I know. Don't blame us. Blame Contact in the Desert.
And then after that, when this is over, I'm pretty sure we agreed to that in our contract with Spotify. No fucking, no dreams.
No
Yeah,
dreams.
None of them.
People always want to know where Dan gets his ATT hat. It's a custom order.
I tried. They were so expensive.
Yeah,
The boys outvoted it.
It's almost, hats are a hard thing to do because it's one of those things that they're so expensive to make and then expensive to ship. So in order to make any money off the hats are astronomical.
Hats are going to be when we do a live like in-person show, we'll bring hats. You can buy them.
Number, like limited, yeah.
Yeah, limited
Super
run of hats.
limited.
And we're just gonna give them up for free.
It's frisbee at people.
Frisbee them.
Yep.
But you have to, if you frisbee the hat, you have to catch it on your head without your hands. That's the only way you get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you don't catch it, you have to pick it up, bring it back up to us.
In shame.
Dude, if there was anyone, like if we could have got any other person in this interview series, I know like we were kind of approached not last minute, but like with not a lot of time. But like if you could have had anyone else on, who would you guys have wanted that's at the convention this year?
Man,
I think Zell and I talked to most of them, and the people I could think of.
I would like to talk to Billy Carson. That's like he knows a lot about the secret space program and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah. I think I have two. I would have liked to talk to Hugh Newman, just because we met him at AlienCon. He's a super nice guy. And same with Jason Martell.
Oh,
I think those two guys would have been really good to have on. I think Jason Martell, we had a good rapport with him at AlienCon. Like he was, having a laugh with us. So I think getting him on the show,
he
would be a good fit. I think he likes to loosen up a little bit. And I mean, I'm sure he would love to pump some night vision goggles on our show.
Yes.
yeah. I mean,
that Huey Lewis, the news guy, sounds pretty cool. I'll be into that.
well, what on that topic, because he talks about giants and shit. What about that skull they just finally?
Oh, the
found?
Dragon Man skull.
Dragon Man,
Dragon Man.
Chogdor,
And they
Chogdor
they
skull.
think they think it's finally a actual what's it Denisovan
Denisovan.
skull. 'Cause
Denisovan.
They found teeth and finger bones, but they never found a skull.
Well, they're not sure. Like there's some like they're pretty much on the like everybody's on the fence. Everybody's kind of hedging their bets. They're like some people are like it could be a type of it could be Denisovan perhaps.
Is that how they say it? Like
because it's
Denisovan.
Russian.
I always heard it was Denisovan.
Right, but we were saying it wrong, and so were other people.
Oh.
But it's Russian, so you put the emphasis on the east, like Denisovan, right?
Denisovan.
It's named after the
Denisovan.
king.
Give it a Canadian name. Denisovan.
Yeah,
Denisovan.
Denisovan, eh?
Denisovan, eh?
Denisovan.
Hey, Paul, you guys see that dragon skull over there, eh?
That's pretty cool dragon skull there, bud.
Pretty fucking cool, pal.
Some people think it's Denisovan. They probably could get away from that. Some other people are saying it's a new species, that it's just another branch from the weird humankind shrub that is our species.
Yeah, the one article I wrote was saying that this is going to make scientists reevaluate their thoughts on the origins of humanity. I was like, well, probably not, but maybe
it adds to it.
Just part of it, because they're like, if you can find out where this fits in with our thing, because now the image of what our early history looked like is now a bunch of everybody, multiple species of Homo sapiens or Homo whatever.
Listen, you're
I
gonna get
will
all
s-
excited. You're gonna get all excited for this. If Denisovan not, then you're gonna get a fucking 9-page fucking letter sent out there that says it could have been Denisovan. It might not be. We don't know. Can't tell you.
could have been a dragon skull.
But
We don't know.
Maybe not. Yeah.
Well, one of the facts that's still not very much like is pretty still has a lot of support in that evolution community, is that there is some the species that is most directly related to us, like came out of Africa like fucking Terminator and wasted all of the other species of hominids, and then us. That's still the thing. There was a species of humans that came out of Africa and just destroyed everybody else, whether it was through warfare or through
Yes,
just
it's the Anunnaki.
There's no way any of us are ancestors of theirs. We way too much of pussies.
We
well, we
don't have the battle blood.
We do
Neanderthal
not have-
DNA. We
don't have those Terminator.
There's bits of our
genetics.
DNA that we're not sure where it came from. Like it's human. They're like it's
The Anunnaki.
Mhm.
well, maybe sure.
That's it.
But
That
you could
big
perhaps,
word I described
I mean, you could easily draw, a connection to be like, perhaps just these different species of hominids are where some of these stories come from or evolved from, and some of the mythologies and the cultural beliefs, ancient cultural beliefs of some societies and civilizations, where it's like we were just not talking about so much gods or like other mythical races, but just there were other hominids. We know that there are other hominids like us, upright bipedal primates that walk the earth, and we could interbreed with them. Neanderthals are just one of the ones that we have the most support of, but there's still like Homo forensis and
Yeah, the hobbits.
and yeah, so it's like they're out there.
The
It's just we've
Denisovans
never-
are supposed to be bigger too. Like they're supposed to be bigger in
a
stature,
little bit more
and
robust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
even than Neanderthal. Like Neanderthal was like tall as us, but they were much thicker boned.
Right.
And Denisovans are supposed to be even bigger. So like maybe that's the giant. The giants you hear about, like they're just another version
Right.
of humans who stood at 8 feet tall or whatever.
Could very possibly be, but
Or-
it's super neat that we're finding all these things again. Like the discovery of it is like a story in itself, where they talked about the story in the news that they, some Chinese laborers had found it just pretty much right before the Japanese aggression into China and like Manchuria, and they hid it like in a well wrapped it up, hid it in a well so they wouldn't take it, and then it stayed in there for almost 90 years, and then until they brought it out in like 2018, and they started applying all their forensic archaeological techniques to like figure out what this is, because it's a big skull. It's markedly different than anything that most anthropologists have seen, archaeologists have seen before. So you're just kind of like, they're looking at it, they're like, this is, when you look at it, you're like, this is way too big. And I know
maybe it's the Nephilim.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like perhaps some of those stories evolved out of this, like out of our ancestors had just been interbreeding with these other species of primates. Like that's just how it was. And then you just get these stories that hung on and on and on for thousands of years and just turned into some of these stories, and just, perhaps it happened.
We have, two questions in the chat. One is kind of a question. I don't know if it's a question or a statement, but I'll read it anyways. This is from D Believer. I don't know about you guys, but I genuinely feel like we're going through a serious shift, like a global awakening. What are you guys' thoughts? I personally, I agree. And the reason I agree is because we had Andrew, I felt like had an awakening 2 weeks ago on the show, where he was like, holy shit, this is all coming together. And I was like, you know what? If Andrew's having an awakening, everyone must be.
Listen, once a guy learns how to install his own hard drive for the first time, put Windows on it, things change. I'm a new man. All right, things are just working.
The whole world,
whole world shifting.
Dude, I was sitting under this desk, and it was like fucking A Beautiful Mind. All these numbers and words and shit are flying around my head.
Paradigm shift.
Yeah, man. Like it was just, pretty sure my brain grew 3 sizes that day, kind of like the Grinch. But
I do though feel that more people are acceptable, and I would say or open to the concept of UFOs and aliens. And I think what's happening is that we're seeing the shift where people just accept it now. I think that they're like, there's something out there. There's something out there. There's something we don't understand. And we see that in the form of like, people are disappointed with the UFO report. And I think that's perfect. Like if there was nothing, I would be, concerned about that. But there's not outrage, but people are like, oh, that's bullshit. Like, come on, give us some more than that. And I think that's because everyone's ready. Most people are ready to be like, hey, there's something out there that we don't know. It's fine. What are your thoughts?
Well, yeah, global consciousness. I mean, shifting towards what? Like, are we talking about UFOs, or like shifting towards like humanity starting to realize that we're very easily manipulated, and like, large industries can be used to sway public opinion more? Are we like waking up as like a collective whole to like become better as humanity? Probably.
Kind of wake up, basically, yeah.
I would say, because they always say like, yeah, there's a lot of bad shit that happens in the world right now, but it's still like the best time ever for humanity. Like there's way more positive stuff that it's happening. Rather, like there's way less war. There still is, obviously. There's way less death, needless death. Like medicine's better. Like, so as far as like a collective good, humanity, I think is definitely coming up on that. That's what I would say.
I like, in terms of a global or awakening, if you lived during the Renaissance, you would have felt like there was a global awakening.
What?
If you the
Renaissance.
Denise Ovens and Renaissance. And,
if you would have
That's not
lived,
how
put your
that-
pinky
we
out
all-
when you say that, Dan.
Yeah. Dan, put your pinky out
in the
air when you say it. Say that again, but put your pinky out.
Indubitably, Dan. Indubitably.
Renaissance. If you lived during the Enlightenment, you would have thought there was a global awakening going on. If you would have lived during when
The
the
60s, 70s.
Reformation of the Church, English Reformation of the Church, you would have thought there was a global awakening going on. Like Zell said, to Zell's point, like we are living in a very fortunate time where communication has evolved to such a point where you can literally reach out to other people across the planet at the speed of light. So if you feel like there's a global awakening, that's because in some ways it is. Like, we are being able to communicate across things. We're becoming more aware of how our choices affect more than your immediate surroundings. It's like you're just becoming more aware of things, which would be a product that's a byproduct of just having so much information at hand. That's what I would think. So I mean, like, you literally have the entire summation
human knowledge in your pocket.
In your pocket. you know,
It's insane.
yes, that comes with the trade-off, you know, the
What?
unfortunate trade-off and the unfortunate trade-off of social media, which has, you know, gotten its way, is, you know, wormed its way in there, and you could argue that is a, you know, a bad thing, and which I would kind of support that argument, but yeah, you still are able to go in and find anything. If you have a phone in your pocket, like, you're pretty much a type of artificial intelligence. You're an augmented intelligence. So you're just becoming more aware of things. You're able to communicate better and articulate your thoughts because you're able to interact with other people from different backgrounds instantly. So I would think if it's a global awakening, it's due to just like that's the way technology has brought us to that point.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's a good point. We have another question here. The kid on me. In the 60s, CIA sent archaeologists to the Eye of the Sahara and redacted the entire report. Do you think that that's possibly where they dug up the UFO Bob Lazar said was part of the dig? I mean,
I never heard that.
it's
So I don't know.
interesting.
Yeah,
I've
you'd
never
have to
heard that.
you have to show me a report or like a story where that came from. But
Isn't that like? Didn't they say that's where the possible like
So they
nuclear
said that
war,
the-
the ancient nuclear war, took place with the
well, they also
Vietnamese
say
and all
that, yeah. Well, they also say that's where the
Atlantis.
Atlantis is, the Ricard structure
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah. So you'd have to give us a little bit more details about that
said,
whole operation.
He replied, he's on it. So I got the CIA report info from the latest Bright Insight bid. He shows a report that is like, while this isn't classified, the rest is a redacted kind of thing. But you know, like, it's interesting because Bob Lazar, I remember I only watched Joe Rogan when he's got interesting guests on, and I of course watched when Bob Lazar came on and told a story. And we've talked about it numerous times in the podcast, but he, in passing,
Yeah.
in a fleeting moment, mentions about how they dug these things up. And no one bats an eye to that, and they just leave that part of the conversation, go on to the next thing. And he says, he's like, they dug one of these up, or some of these. So is it possible that that's potentially where they dug them up? Maybe. I mean, you know, we've talked about the Vimanas, right? So like maybe these saucers were some like ancient Vimanas in the Eye of the Sahara, buried in the sand from a lost civilization. Am I going to say here and say absolutely not? No, because we keep finding crazy shit all the time. So who knows what's buried under all that sand? And it's not like that's an easy place to kind of get contracts to go and dig up the desert. It's not that little bit difficult right now.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's supposed to be Atlantis, the Eye of the Sahara. That's what we talked about it. We
think
never.
it's on Atlantis.
No, we talked about it and said we don't think it's Atlantis because it looks too natural and there's no. Like if Atlantis was that advanced, the foundations of their buildings should still be there.
Well, unless it's buried
They're
under a
buried in
shit
sand.
load of sand.
Yeah, but I mean, if the structure, like you can see that structure pretty well, so there's got to be something. We got a caller actually. Let's bring them in here. Coming in.
Gentlemen,
Hello.
how you doing?
Good, brother. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good. Good to hear you. My name is Kevin, calling from southwestern Connecticut.
Right on. Thanks for the
Woo.
call.
Is it hot as balls there as well?
Yeah. No, actually, it's a nice 81 degrees Fahrenheit, of course.
Lucky.
I have a quick question for you guys.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to Brandon?
Brandon?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, not Brandon. Byron.
Oh, Byron.
Oh,
Sorry.
we exposed him for being a fake Australian incel, spouting Australia's real conspiracy. So we kicked him off,
Yeah, he's
and he
gone.
admitted to us behind the
Gotcha.
scenes that he's actually South
Ejected
African.
him from the
He's just
island.
playing
Yeah. No, but
no, Byron's
So
Byron's
what's
good.
the-
He had a child. We'll try to get him on again. He's a busy guy now.
Byron's like still a really good friend of mine, and we bring him on when we do pod weeks and D&D, and he's kind of like the fifth because it's hard to bring 5 guys on the show. That's part of the reason
Yeah.
as well.
Yep.
Like Byron used to be the guy when like one of us couldn't make it, we'd be like, Byron, You want to come on? He's like, all right,
We
guys.
need a fill-in.
Yeah, we need a filler.
Good eye.
Good eye,
guys.
I'm Byron.
Come on.
But yeah, he's still
That's
around.
good to know. Good to know he's in good health.
Oh, yeah,
Hope
he's
you
all
guys
good.
are all. Andrew, hope you and your kids are doing great. And
Thanks,
thanks
man,
for taking
yeah.
my call, guys. You know what?
Hey,
You guys,
what's your name again?
You almost make me wish my Kevin.
Kevin, hold on, Kevin. Before you go, what I want to do is I'm just going to do an intro to the show. We're going to go around the horn, introduce ourselves, and you can introduce yourself last. So welcome to Alien Theorists Theorizing. I'm Braden.
I'm Zell.
I'm Dan.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm Kevin.
Yeah.
Nice. He's a natural.
Yeah. How about that? Well, you guys almost you make me wish my commute to work was longer. To be honest,
Well, you can always switch
can
jobs.
never squeeze in a full episode.
Yeah, you
know?
can always drive farther.
You can always move farther away from your workplace.
Do a couple extra laps in the
I
parking
could start
lot,
early
you know?
and go in circles.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Awesome, man.
All right, guys. Well,
Hey,
thanks
and
for taking
Kevin,
my
if you
call.
shoot us an email, if you shoot us an email on Patreon, I'll clip that audio for you and send it to you. Just shoot us an email on Instagram or somewhere, wherever you follow us, and I'll make sure to get a clip of that for you. Send it to you.
Oh, look at
I
that.
love it. Thanks, Braden. All right, you guys, you take care. Best of luck to y'all.
All right.
Thanks,
Right
brother.
on, Kevin.
buddy.
Take care, buddy.
Take
Bye.
care.
That's a
Oh,
nice
fuck,
guy.
that was awesome.
That's a beauty.
Anyone else who calls in, we'll do a little round table, and I'll clip it for you. Throw it in
You
the
clipping intros?
clip an intros and send it off to you. Yes, you can call from the UK. You can call from anywhere in the world.
It's toll free.
Toll free.
We
Except
pay.
for us. Australia.
1-833
Because it's not real.
Yeah, it's fake. 703-0424. It's at the bottom of the screen.
Can't miss
I
it.
know some of you are humming and hawing. You're looking at it. You're
Dude,
half dialing,
It's
hanging up.
free
Just call
for
us.
you. It costs us money. So waste our money and call us.
Yeah, waste our money.
Fuck you, call us.
Yeah, fuck you. Call us. Contact. They're just gonna love that.
Hey, they know the show.
Yeah.
They know.
They know what they're
They
getting.
know what they're getting.
Hey, Richard Dolan would go ahead, get our backs. He loved the show.
That guy was dropping bombs left and right. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Especially at the start of the show.
Yeah.
Oh shit, guys, I forgot about the interview. Fuck.
So did the other guy, unfortunately.
Yeah, we don't mention him.
No.
It gets
Yeah.
He who shall
He's-
not be named.
He's banished forever.
You've been
for big
banished,
time in this.
sir.
There's one thing I hate. This is universal. Aliens, anything is people who are tardy, and then they pretend that they make excuses like it was your fault that they're tardy. And I'm like, oh,
Listen, okay, we made this plan with this dude a month ago. I said the time, said everything. I wanted to do a follow-up, but I forgot, but there was no mention it was canceled. And then he's like, oh shit, I just thought it was canceled, so I didn't even bother checking my email this morning. I was like, all right.
Why would it be canceled?
Why, if it was canceled, we would have canceled it or told you. He's like, oh, I didn't see it till it was too late. It was 7 o'clock. I was like, yeah, you're half an hour late, man. Sorry. We're moving on.
Yeah, we're lining up Dick Dolan here.
Beauty.
Yeah, that guy's a beauty. Now, what are you guys' thoughts after did talk? Was there anyone that we talked to during the Contact in the Desert series or Theorists in the Desert series that like changed your view at all? Like really, like something they said or just their talk that really impacted you. Just off my head, I'm like, I really liked how I talked about Richard Dolan. Obviously, he very approachable, right? Like he's easy. Like we were just shooting questions to him and been like, off the cuff, obviously shit that we don't expect him to know, and he's just like, oh, yeah, that's a fucking good idea. Let's
go
he
on
kept
that.
saying speculate, but we knew he meant theorize. But
Yeah, it's okay. We'll give it to him.
well, what are you guys' thoughts?
Someone
Any changes in the Zell's theory of everything?
the theory of everything is always evolving. Pretty much on every joint smoked, the theory evolves a little bit more. But I mean,
Even for a
That's
fleeting moment.
lot.
A fleeting moment.
That's a fucking lot of theories.
That's a lot of
changing,
theories.
pal.
It's like 15 times a week. No, I liked listen to Freddie Silva's theory about like the shiny ones, the watchers, and how, because he's not like Freddie doesn't really believe in the that UFOs are from somewhere else. He thinks that this is part of a pre-existing civilization, the Watchers, the shiny ones. I'm like, okay, I like that theory, that these people evolved so long ago. Something happened either through cataclysm or something where they just slowly degraded out of their advancements and like kind of just integrated back into humanity.
Again, you're giving this credit to the wrong people. That's fucking Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, pal. But all right, give it to Freddie Silva all you want.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
I mean, yeah, the movie's coming out soon. So,
DeMichael Contreras asked, "Is there going to be something like Theorists in the Desert next summer?" We're hoping. I mean, we're hoping that we'll be actually in the desert. It won't be an interview series, but we can do some live on location interviews with some of the guests we had this year, a little more roundtable discussions. And maybe if we can line something up for next year when it's back in person, maybe we'll do some sort of bar pub show with fans who want to come.
That's our jam right there.
Boys, why don't we just make our own Theorists in the Desert? That's it. Whole thing. Just us.
And we can just go to the desert.
Yeah, boys.
We just
set up a little picnic table.
It's free.
Tossing hats. Desert.
Dude, it's free. It's a free event. We just all go to Joshua Tree National Park. We bring all the mushrooms, and everyone can come on their own. And that's a real Theories in the Desert right there. Next thing you know, we're on a different dimension.
Yeah, it's also liability in the desert.
Hey, you come on your own. No liability on us. We didn't invite you. If you want to be there at this given time at this given area, that's on you.
I'll set up a little IV fucking lounge
IV port.
Yeah, that'd be okay.
No, yeah. Hopefully next year, not an interview series, a live, something live. Hopefully.
And this all, us working with Contact in the Desert this year. This spawned from us reaching out to do some sort of panel or work with them back in 2020, and then the pandemic hit, obviously, so everything got shut down. So they reached back out to us this year to work with them virtually. We said yes, and I'm hoping that leads to us working with them next year in person in some aspect. I would love to just do on-the-location interviews with fans and guests and speakers, 15 minutes here, questions, just have a lot of fun with it. And maybe do like I think it would be fun if we were there to do some like roundtable discussions over a couple drinks with Freddie Silva, Mike Masters, Richard Dolan, like where we actually set up a spot. Even if we have to rent a hotel room or something, we set up a round table and just have these guys on, almost like we were talking about. What's that chicken wing show?
Hot ones.
Hot ones.
Yeah.
But with just some drinks, and we're strictly talking UFOs and conspiracies.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Back to the Kid Ami question about the CIA going in there. I just pulled up the report that the Bright Insight guy cites on his thing, the 22 page, and I just went through it. I don't know what parts he's talking about that are redacted. There's nothing redacted in it since it's an unclassified report, and it just talks about them having to get clearances to fly over some of these areas because they were doing geological and surveys in those areas. So, I mean, it's, yeah, sure. Like, like they do that kind of thing. And if you go to, the history of the Rakat structure, you look at a lot of the stuff that they learned about it was in this, 50s and 60s. This is probably just one of those things that they did a flyover. Like it says in the report what kind of aircraft. It's like a Skymaster or two different aircraft. And they just fly over taking readings and different geological survey measurements. So it's like there's a picture of the Rakat structure in there, but that, again, these CIA reports, like they put weird crap in there all the time. Somebody could just put it in the file and said, hey, this looks neat. Like, you guys are flying that way. How about you fly over this too? Like, take a look. I don't know. You can see the whole flight path of the plane and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's pretty neat, but I don't know what parts he's referring to that's redacted. I'd have to watch the video, but won't do that right now.
Cool. Well, take a peek at it. That'd be sweet.
Mr. Conspiracy's got a question. He's he's way up north in the Northwest Territories right now. And he's complaining. He's like, my comment section's not working on YouTube. That's because we banned you.
Yeah.
so I said that he just shoot me a text with your question. So we'll see if we get one from Mr. Conspiracy. Okay. Aris says pyramids were built in 2490 BC. The burning of Alexandria 48 BC. Did we lose the knowledge of building these structures or the knowledge of alien tech when the library burnt?
We did the Alexandria when we talked about it.
Yeah, I mean,
Probably
we
lost a lot.
I'm sure we lost a lot. You can check
We
that out on
lost
case.
everything but the massive porn collection. That thing's still
Yes.
safe. That shit was
Imagine-
that's actually what they put in the fucking ark to keep it safe.
Yeah.
Like that.
It'd be like, burning the internet right now. Like some information would survive, right? But there would be tons lost, like tons of little things and stuff, but like individually, like people would write it down, and there's people that are smart who would remember and write these things down. So it's like, was there lost knowledge? 100%. I'm sure there was some knowledge written there that only a handful of people knew, and it burned, and that was it. It didn't get written down again, didn't get logged again. But like, I don't believe we lost alien tech, because I'm like, people would still be talking about that back then. You know what I mean? Like, you'd be like, well, we can just fucking hum at these giant blocks and they lift, and we can push and play. You know what I mean? Like, that's big time knowledge.
But maybe they kept those stories and shit around, and that's where we get our religions
Yeah.
from.
Well, and there was private collections too, right? So it's hard. It's like, would that information have been there? Hard to say.
Some stuff about the building of the pyramids, since that would have been the closest big library, would have been lost, definitely. But doesn't.
I'm sure.
Not everything.
I'm sure though we didn't. I'm sure there's stuff we lost that would be would be eye opening for us if we knew what we lost, but we don't. That's the thing, right? So we can only speculate and theorize on what was lost in that library.
Yeah, you could say we lost the same amount of stuff, like entering the Dark Ages, like what set us back like 1,000 years.
Oh, we got Mr. Conspiracy typing. I see he's just typing a message here.
Conspiracy.
He said recently, a man through his telescope captured a UFO circling a large object in space. The object then explodes in a huge fireball. Did you guys see it? Also, I thought explosions in vacuum were impossible. I'll try to find the video, but you can see the whole thing. It's really cool. I assume this was all written on a Post-it note. No, I didn't.
Cue card.
I don't know the video that he's speaking of.
No.
Hopefully he sends me the link. Explosions in the vacuum of space possible? Like, well, I mean, if something was filled with oxygen and combustible, like, could there not be an explosion?
I mean,
how does the sun work? How does the sun work then?
It's
always
a constant
exploding.
Nuclear
Yeah.
fusion reaction.
Well, it's explosion. It's basically.
Constantly exploding.
Yeah, if you had like a rocket
whole
in
time.
space, if you had a rocket in space that failed, it would explode, but it wouldn't be a lingering fireball that would just like
Yeah.
it would just like explode.
Flash and
All energy would be expelled and it would just go dark. That would be it. There'd be no lingering embers that would continue to burn and
Yeah, stuff explodes. It's just like, and then it's gone. Like
Gone.
the reaction is cut. Like there's no, that type of explosion using like material that has oxygen or air. Like it's not going to be there. So there will be like there might be like a sudden explosion, but it won't last. Nothing will burn.
it'll just pop. Energy will be expelled and it'll be over.
Yep.
Matt Smith says, "Evening, lads. Has it reached 40 degrees in BC today as predicted? Sure feels like it.
We've got to be
Sure
getting.
feels like it.
I mean, it's only
Tomorrow.
it's not peak temperature yet. Even it's only not even 2 o'clock. So
Conspiracy says whatever this UFO is circling, he said it looks like a small planet. But I'm like, I'm gonna go ahead on a limb and say that's probably a fake video then, because like if it's someone
Death Star that blew that thing up.
Yeah, but if it's someone on it with an amateur telescope, like it's hard to. You can see stuff. You can on a really good amateur telescope, 100%. but you're not getting the details of a planet. Like I don't know if you're going to see the rings of Saturn through an amateur telescope. Like you will see a dot and be like, hey, that's Saturn.
Well, you can get some pretty awesome home telescopes now, but yeah, I don't know if you see the rings or not.
Yeah, like so it's hard to say. So it's like if it was something coming in an asteroid or something, that whatever this thing allegedly, send the video, conspiracy, because right now this is all conspiracy.
Perfect. It's fitting.
Yeah.
So far,
you
man
guys-
with the telescope unsolved. Is that what you're telling me?
Unsolved. Yeah.
Unsolved.
Still unsolved.
Noah asks, could you guys give your views on the building collapse in Florida that happened a couple days ago?
That's
Sad.
sad. Scary.
Sad and scary. I think the conspiracy that he's talking about is that McAfee, from some things that I've read online through
McAfee?
The ex-Colts punter?
No, McAfee. What's his name? Pat McAfee?
Yeah, that's the
The-
guy that used to punt for the...
John McAfee.
Oh, the guy
the-
that likes to get pooped on.
Like the guy who died in
What?
jail.
Yeah, the guy who died in jail.
Yeah, the weirdo.
Apparently, he had an office space in that building. And some people say that the conspiracy online right now is that he had some information there. But I'm like, what information would this guy have?
Well,
Right?
first
On
of all,
anything.
if he
Why don't
actually
you just
had,
go in there and get rid of it.
if that guy actually had an apartment in that building, that coincidence would be mind-boggling. If he really did have an apartment. But-
This is all unsubstantiated.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
mean, you
I
think there'd be
I've seen this
easier
online
ways of
pop
getting
up,
rid
though.
of his stuff. Than
He's
going
already
to the whole
dead.
building.
Just kick the door open.
Well,
Go to the
exactly,
building
I
manager,
don't
get the
understand.
key.
So they're saying that
So-
because he had some information in there, they collapsed the whole building, killed. How many people died in that?
I think they said there's like at least 150 people who are unaccounted for.
Oh, that's
I think I saw
terrible.
there
That
were
doesn't
60
make any
people
sense.
missing.
It doesn't make any sense. I don't give any credence to that theory pending further information, but it just doesn't make sense. I'm like, why level a building for a guy that's already dead? You could just go get the contents of the room.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't even heard that theory, so that's news to me.
I just saw it. I just saw it popping up on some sort of conspiracy group I follow, and I was like,
It's got-
interesting.
Got little
Doesn't quite-
sprinkles of Q on it. It's got a little
Yeah, it does.
Q flavor to it.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Doesn't really hold up. I'm like, but why? He's been in jail for so long. If the United States was actually trying to extradite him, I'm sure that would give them grounds to enter any property and seize any holdings he has in the U.S. Like, so to me, it doesn't really pass the sniff test on that one for me. Terrible tragedy, yes. I feel for everyone there and their families. I'm sure something's going to come up and be done. And I'm sure if you look up, I'm sure there's some support groups where you can donate to the families affected. I don't have them on hand, but hashtag look it up.
Yeah, when I looked into
Help them
that
out.
originally, there was one quote saying like one of the ladies who died who was missing. She was complaining of tremors when they're building because they built another building right beside it, and when they're doing like the groundwork, she's like felt her building like shake sometimes, I guess. So I guess that theory is like something compromised the foundation of the current building while they're building the new building. Like they didn't do the groundwork right or something, and like the ground couldn't take the weight of the building with the new building built beside, like something, maybe there was like a natural spring or like something under the ground that like gave way. That's what it seems like to me. Like they built this new building, the geotech or the engineers didn't get it right. The soil or whatever under that one building couldn't handle a building being built beside it, and the stress of that building eventually gave way.
What a fucking epic mistake.
Should
to
never
make.
happen in modern buildings. That's just like, that should never happen. The collapse like that.
Hope some people are losing their jobs over this.
Yeah, that's a tough one. But more to come on that. I'm sure there's be a long, thorough structural investigation of that thing.
What else we got? I don't think we have any space news or anything. Trying to check out if there's anything interesting in the world of space popped up, but you don't have the Randomatron helping us out.
So we're gonna record all this, and when Contact does it says we can't use this, we can just Keep it for posterity.
Yeah, well, we
That's
can use
recorded.
it too.
It's content for us.
Yeah. Again, any questions in the chat? We're answering all questions and taking all calls. 1-833-703-0424. Toll free worldwide. Mr. Worldwide, call us. It's all good. I don't know. What do you think's next for disclosure? So with this report, we have all these people coming forward, like Commander Fravor, Kevin Day, saying this. Are we going to start to get more recent issues coming up? Like, what do you guys think?
I think there'll be more people come forward about the events that have been in this report. That's what I think. More people that were involved might speak out about them. I don't know if you'll get many more videos out of it, but you'll get people who were involved in some of the cases who might come forward and be like, this is my point of view. This was my role in this, this report or this event. More Kevin Days and stuff coming out.
Well, part of me wonders too if that kind of era of when the gimbal and the Go Fast video came out, if that was like maybe a UFO flap, right, where we're seeing a lot of activity, is there continued activity now? Like, is there ships out at sea who are currently seeing these kinds of things?
Probably.
Right. That would be my question now. Is it continuous, or is it flaps where it's like we see a rise in activity and then it kind of dulls down for a couple of years?
I don't know. I think there's always sightings. I think but are all those sightings legit sightings, or are they just people are looking for stuff and then they misidentify? So yeah, I don't know.
I think it's very difficult for them to come to a solid conclusion about what is being seen because, like I said, they just started really standardizing their protocol for reporting these UFOs and the type of data that they need. They even say it in the report. They're like, I mean, they admit their failings. They're like, we can't. A lot of these things, like, yeah, you can get them on radar and stuff, but that doesn't. If you have a radar contact, that doesn't necessarily mean that what's on the radar is what's out there, because we do know of radar spoofing technology that's existed since like the 80s. You can project radar images and then you think it's a thing, but it's not. That is very possible. So, I mean, for them, the task force seems to be taking their job seriously, because they're like, in order to make a solid judgment, you need eyewitness. You need at least like 2 or 3 eyewitnesses to see these things. You need the radar, radar images. You need also, because of the types of sensors that would be needed for these things. I mean, they talked about it with the jets, like the FA-18 Hornets. Like, they're not equipped. Even that camera that's on there, they're not normally equipped to like identify UAPs. That's not what they're designed for.
Isn't that why Elizondo quit though? Because they weren't taking it serious enough.
Well, they
expressed concerns about it.
Yeah, I think they shut it down because they're like, well, somebody found out they're spending like $20 million on what they didn't produce any results in like 4 years. So it's like, no results that they didn't seem to. The Congress, the people who are giving them money,
but they
didn't seem to be.
That's like a $5 bill in the terms of like global, in terms
when you're
of
just
spending.
making up money anyways.
Like, how much do they actually spend? Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars a year on defense and whatever. 20 million.
Right, but those are like, you can say like that money is still like put towards like, the maintenance of an aircraft carrier isn't cheap.
Yeah, but they also accounting errors have lost like $5 trillion over the last 20 years.
Right. But they had to make actual things. I mean, yeah, you could say the money is buried in there. It gets buried in some budget. In the money, it's an accounting error, whatever. But people are becoming better and better at forensic accounting. So it's, but that was documented. Like, that was documented in the things when they formed that task force, and that money, it came out that they hadn't really found anything. They're giving their stuff to Bob Bigelow, and if they were given anything, it doesn't seem that any of those reports seemed deemed have any positive outcome, so they just shut it down.
We have a question from Michael G. Why are you guys shirtless? I think Andrew and I are just wearing green t-shirts, and we have a green screen remover, so it's just matching our backgrounds. It's kind of weird.
It's bizarre.
Since you lot have done this podcast, what is each of your favorite pod/subject. By the way, love you guys. This is from Mark Dixon.
Oh, fuck. I don't know. It's a hard
I don't
one.
know. I tend to lean to, I really love doing the UFO topics that, have some unexplainable portions to them where you go like, where you look at them and you're like, it's not easy to, disprove it, where you're genuinely like, well, this is very strange. Those ones fascinate us because, like, if true, it changes everything. So I definitely lean towards I really like our UFO ones that we do. As for a single one to pick, I have no idea. It would be so hard to pick a single topic.
I have a short memory, so after about 6 months, the case files start to all kind of combine into one.
Mine's probably COINTELPRO.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That's a good one. Yeah,
That was a lot of fun.
Just the fact that this was actually like this, what motivated it, what predicated the entire breakdown and disruption of essentially the civil rights movement in some areas, operated by the, pretty much conducted by the FBI and aided by local police forces, based on nothing but seems inherent, prejudices. So I think COINTELPRO is cool, which that goes into all the like CIA operations around that time, 60s, 70s, where there was no oversight really.
Yeah.
Coming out of the World War, governments coming in hot off the, post World War II, we can't do anything wrong, and then people start digging into it and you're like, holy shit, what were you guys doing?
Yeah. Like MK Ultra, that one was insane. Like,
yeah.
That was a lot of fun too.
like if they're doing that and like the stuff we found out about, all the stuff they like got rid of and burned and shredded, and so we definitely don't know everything.
And reading about the consequences and like reading about the the congressional panels and stuff where they dug up all this information. They said, look at what these people are doing. Look at what they're doing without oversight. You people were responsible for this. Why aren't you doing anything about it? And then it goes into all the kind of policies that came out of that. Following up on some of this stuff and the curtailing of a lot of the liberties that the CIA was doing, a lot of the stuff they couldn't do, and putting some fucking shackles on some of the operations that they were doing. It's just like, God, like, why? This is what happens when you don't have oversight on something. You give people too much credit, or sometimes, So, I like those have probably been my favorite.
Yeah, those are good. Those ones are fun because a lot of information.
And anything about Bigfoot, fuck, like cryptids, like anything about cryptids.
Dan's a big cryptid guy.
Oh, I love talking about Bigfoot. Talk about it's just fun. It's good stuff.
If I had to rate Dan 0 to Gimlin, 100% Gimlin.
He's full
big time.
Gimlin.
110%.
The guy's oozing Gimlin.
Delezion de la Cruz asks, what are your views on Hollow Earth?
It's been a long time since we talked Hollow Earth. I think our conclusion in the end was, there's no way it's completely hollow, but doesn't mean it's not filled with like a honeycomb cave system or something.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair to say. Like, is there an entrance where there's possible underground bases?
Yeah. I don't think there's a giant hole
Is
at
there
the
where
top
that-
and bottom though.
Fucking race of pufferfish live.
Yeah,
Puffer.
right next to the ant people.
Okay.
But yeah, it's for the core to be hollow and a bunch of reptilians pulling levers and stuff. I doubt it. It just doesn't add up with what we know about science and stuff. But like Zell said, a cave system.
I don't know where
some big openings. Some places.
Got reptilians pulling levers, but I like that.
Well, pulling strings. Same thing.
Well, that's Agartha. That's like the theory that like the center's Agartha, and that's where the aliens actually they're not. I don't think they've said reptilians. They're like they have like blue skin, and they're like the Hindu. All the Hindu gods got like a lot of blue skin, and they think like the Hollow Earth entrance, and like that's the whole theory behind it. But yeah, there's no. It's because we have like seismic. What's it called? Seismic topography, where they shoot like sound waves through the earth and put sensors on each side, and they can tell the density and what rock, and So I don't.
Yeah, I mean, as we have that from our, that's a lot of what they use, like earthquakes. Like earthquakes are almost like a type of sensor now, or we've have the technology to utilize earthquakes, like when they happen. Geologists are able to kind of make a good guess about what the inside of the Earth looks like because of how it shakes and how it vibrates.
I just sent Conspiracy's video to the group chat. He finally found the link to it.
Found the link, did he?
Yeah, so if we want to throw that up, we can see. Apparently, it shows amateur. Apparently, Conspiracy's saying that this guy was interviewed by the news as well about the footage.
CHBC News?
Yeah, then it's not credible. Maybe
News
CBC.
Mm.
See if they can solve
Whoop.
the mystery.
While Zell's pulling that up, we got another one. Luis de Sosa, do you guys believe that ancient alien structures exist in Antarctica? How about the supposed no-fly zone in there? Love the show. It makes my commute better.
Wait, sorry.
Well,
new question.
We have a buddy who flies over it all the time. Friend of the show that we personally know.
He was my
he
roommate.
flies it all the time.
He was my roommate for like 4 years.
Yeah.
So
the no-fly zone, that we've debunked because we know someone that flies over
No,
it.
there is a no-fly zone. It's just a very small section, and it's like a radio-free disturbance.
And that's where the ancient alien artifacts are. So
But
that makes sense.
he said it's like 10 square kilometers.
Yeah. Well, they're small. They're small aliens.
So it's like a
Mini
tiny square.
you
know,
think
out
they're
of
big,
solid.
they're actually small.
Yeah, they're just tiny
Now,
little guys.
As for like, do we think there's structures? I mean, there's pyramid-like structures that could be mountains, but who knows what's buried under that ice and snow?
There's
there
pyramid
be-
structures on all continents around the world, pretty much, right?
So would I say that there's absolutely no chance that there's some sort of ancient structure there? Absolutely not. I would, if I was a betting man, I would say there's probably something under that ice.
Odds would say that there is something there.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I 100% believe that there is gonna, maybe one day, maybe not in our lifetime, but they will find some sort of evidence of an ancient civilization that lived on Antarctica at one time or another.
Yeah, because I mean, there's most of Antarctica they think's been covered in ice forever, but there's like sections of like the northern like panhandle and stuff that was ice free at like in the not too distant past. So I don't know. Yeah, I would say why not? If there's been civilization found everywhere on Earth, did nobody ever get to Antarctica? Ever? Yeah. I don't know. Okay, I got that conspiracy video up. Let's see.
Let's see it.
Okay, so it's UFO explosion caught on camera.
There's some sort of ball of light, something going around it. I see another light.
So a light, it's big light with a small light. Come on, Elijah. He made the video. I'm not playing
that
any
it?
sound.
Was that it?
No,
Well,
there's-
obviously
there's
he's gonna
more.
show
There's more to the
something
video.
Oh.
See the light getting
Something-
closer.
So is that exploded there? Is that what that is?
Well, first off, the
Looks like
issue
Star
with
Wars.
this video is this video is not a continuated, like, just show the entire clip. They cut it, right? So it's like, I'm gonna go ahead and lean of like, where's the solid clip? I want to see the clip in its entirety of this explosion. They cut to what looks like a firework, but where's his full? There's no full video. Like it's all spliced up.
Spliced.
So
Non-continuous. You
so I
don't even
that
see it
continued
explode.
Video. Yeah, you see the aftermath, but tough. Wow.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah. Touching back on the Antarctica question, imagine ruins covered in snow and ice, and the possible animals preserved under there. Yeah, but water and ice is also very devastating because it expands, it contracts, it expands, contracts, just hammers shit. So it's like
Not if
it's not
always
that-
frozen.
Yeah, not if it's always
That's the
frozen,
point.
but we'll
Gu-
see.
Guaranteed, there is untold numbers of fossils in Antarctica because at once it was all part of one continent. You know, it wasn't like always frozen at the bottom of the earth. There was times, if you go with the geological scale, like what was Pangea, like 350 million years ago or something? It was all just one giant blob. So there's guaranteed like fossilized plants and probably dinosaurs and God knows what under the ice.
I think they already said they've been founding a bunch of stuff like since I mean, that's what some of the, climate change has been good for. I think they said they've been able to dig up a lot more fossils along there and get a better picture of what the environment was like back then, the actual ecosystem was like, and on that piece of land.
That's cool. Lots. I mean,
because there was just an article a couple months ago or last year, something about them finding some new dinosaurs or something in Antarctica. So yeah, stuff's pretty neat.
My knowledge about Antarctica is quite limited though, so maybe someone knows something that they found.
So most people's.
Yeah, has someone found? Has there been like human remains found? Has that anyone know?
I said they found them over on those islands, like over what is it, like south, the tip of South America, tending towards thing. But one of the big Antarctica thing was I think that they found that perhaps some of like native New Zealanders or people who were descended from them may have found Antarctica. A couple may have discovered. I mean, they came across it, like they reached it before like 1,000 years maybe or something before Russian explorers. Maybe that's the North Pole. No, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I don't have the article in front of me. I just saw it pop up on my feed like couple weeks, like 2 weeks ago.
Dan doesn't have a lot of files in his hard drive about Antarctica.
Yeah,
give him time.
I gotta upload it. I gotta reevaluate and upload newer information.
Someone commented the Alien vs Predator temple found. Yeah, that's what I want to see on Antarctica.
I hate them.
I love that movie.
That movie could have been so much better.
Oh, definitely. A lot of movies can, but the whole concept though of like that's the central civilization and they built this temple and it's not buried under the ice and so good.
It's good. It is good though. I think they've used that like scene. They use that like stills from that scene where the Predator ships are like hovering over the pyramid structures over in Antarctica. Like they've used that still in a couple articles about like ancient cultures. They've used that exact still, and it's like, did ancient aliens visit this, build these structures and da-da-da. Or anytime they talk about pyramids in Antarctica, I'm pretty sure they use that still from that movie. It's pretty cool though.
Well, if no one, we got the line open here. We'll take one more call if anyone's been sitting there. And if not, then I think we're going to wrap this one up here pretty quick. So if you've been humming and hawing about one quick call, now's your chance. Let's do it.
And if you've found this video, once Contact in the Desert's servers are open and you were like, damn, I would have liked to call. We run a Sunday show, Sunday evening, 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The second and last Sunday of every month, Cosmic Channels. You can find it on. It's under the Alien Theorists Theorizing umbrella on Spotify. But we take all calls 1-833-703-0424. The second and last Sunday of every month, so you can call us then if you missed this live.
Oh yeah,
we have a call in the show.
Negatory. Cosmic
all right,
channels everyone. Are not popping at the moment.
That's us for the Theorists in the Desert. Back to your regular case files. And as we always say at the end of these things, keep those eyes on the skies.
Peace, everybody.